puts up a tough shot. Bounces around. Goes in at the buzzer. Working it down to 2 on a deep three. Oh!
It's Propulation.
That's
Picks, we the best in this biz. You ain't telling us shit. It's Propulation. We love making money quick, fast. Cooking up a team card. The whole crew about to smash. It's Propulation. We do it for the fam, so everybody let's cash. The dopest team you ever seen. Winning money, stacking G's. Bookie setting traps, but they'll never catch me. Some people get addicted like rats to the cheese, but I got one obligation to bring Johnny to his knees. Holding back the props till the morning he knows. They'll be fishing in the shack, plotting nukes with the bros. Only with crawl, never reload. Underrated them out, amigos. We go with the honest, we seeking the bloods. We know when a fucking cheat code. Party that I'm sweating, it can't be good for my health. Some might call it making bets, I call it investing in myself. I'm picking props like stocks, Propulation for the win. Got my slips in by the buzzer now, let the games begin.
unbelievable. Just perfect. He did it.
It's Propulation. It's Propulation. It's Propulation. We do it for the fam, so everybody let's cash.
Yo, what's up? We're here.
What up, bro? What up?
What's happening?
Happy Monday, pre-election day, right?
Yes, sir.
Are you betting on the election? I checked the market, and it's
Yeah.
It's all going to Trump right now. All the money's pouring into him winning. So
Yeah, I bet on it. I bet on it like a month ago. Got good odds.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as a result, we don't have any NBA tomorrow because of the election, and as a result, we have all the NBA today. Every single team plays. Yeah, so it's a massive slate. Super tired from the weekend, man. We had an amazing weekend in our Discord.
Crazy.
We had core plays that said we're dropping multiple units on. This is Friday, but yeah, this is underrated. It's winning plays here. We went all in on hard and under on Saturdays. This is something we talk about every year. He scores his lowest points on Saturdays, and he was playing the number one defense in OKC. It seemed like a no-brainer.
Perfect.
And he dropped his usual 12 points. He averaged 12 points every Saturday last year, and he dropped 12 points. And we paired it with what I felt good about if you caught in this stream on Friday. We swept our main core UFC plays. One of them DNP because Derek Lewis backed out due to health reasons. But yeah, we added a few more in there after that, and those hit. Even dropped a 7-leg parlay, big boy parlay that hit. Combined NBA and UFC. UFC was awesome again, even on a fight night. So all dominated. It kind of started off a little shaky, but ended up getting the sub.
We did the same funny thing as the one before. Like we my guy was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna bet the Muslims on the one before, and we're gonna bet the Canadians this last week."
Yes.
So works out.
Yes. Yep. Canadians got it done for us. Great day. And then another core one we had was Jalen Green under PRA. And what's hilarious is I forget which day it was. I took his PRA under. Dude had a career high 12 rebounds, and I said, "Watch, next game he's gonna have one or two rebounds." Well,
Yeah.
Next game he had one rebound. Bunk ass Jalen Green and
11 PRA or something.
11 PRA. That was an easy under because I tell you what, we can get into it for a little bit, as much as we can on this big slate. But Warriors defense is playing really well. The transition defense is really good. And then we have the rise of Torrey Eason back, playing huge minutes for Rockets. So we'll get into that. That's going to change the landscape of the Rockets, especially for guys like Sengun. So massive day for us. Friday was good. From the stream, everything, we broke down, analyzed, went really well. Only big miss was lazy Jared Allen. The dude took one field goal attempt in the first half. Prior to that, he was smashing his first half props, especially the first half, 7.5 points. We looked at it was like 28 out of his last 30 games he's gone over that, and he decided to take one field goal attempt. So yeah, no more Jared Allen for me, but all the other ones were pretty easy, man. LaMelo against Celtics at home. Halliburton, they kept him at 9 flat assists even after the Nembar news being out. So I didn't understand that. AD went absolutely nuclear. He had like 43 fantasy at halftime. He covered all his lines. Got those free throws. We said he was going to get those. Tatum and Jaylen Brown smashed their free throws. We looked into that on stream. We added some other ones in here from after the stream in our Discord, but yeah, Suggs, that was pretty easy. Being the only guy out there and him being scrappy on defense, he covered that first half in full game fantasy pretty easily. So streams are going. The stream picks been going well. Discord picks going well. I mean, a lot of nights we're just missing by one player out of 5 to 8, however many picks we drop. But we're gonna try to keep it short, concise going forward on core plays. But today it's gonna be hard, man. We got to navigate a massive slate.
Yeah, you're probably gonna just gonna ignore a few games, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Oh, and here's our swept on Saturday. All the plays. Like I said, Harden, Jalen Green under. Sabonis RA. I think he almost cleared that in the first half. Kessler, that was very easy going against Jokic. How much fantasy potential, and centers have been just crushing their fantasy against Jokic. And then Jokic went under, and Pods hooked at 12. Thank God. He didn't hit his threes, which I was banking on by taking his under. He's just not a good 3-point shooter. And that game went to overtime, and he still didn't get his points. And Jalen Green get his PRA even with overtime. So got lucky there. But we'll sweep on a Saturday, and then Sunday we didn't have any action. It's only 4 games, and took the day off on that one. But let's clear this out and let's get started on this huge slate. And I think every game starts 15 minutes of each other, so it's gonna make it really hard too. 15 minutes. Okay.
Oh boy.
Bucks at Cavs. We're still waiting on Giannis news confirmation. He's questionable. He's been having a tag on him every game, but he's usually listed as probable. But this is the first time we're seeing a questionable tag, so we can't really do any analysis there. The Cavs are a full go, and we just saw this matchup, right? So
Ren says happy birthday Tyrese Maxey as well.
Yeah, it is Max's birthday too.
There we go.
And Jalen Wilson for the Nets.
Oh, hey.
I predicted this. I mean, I said Donovan Mitchell would have a game, and he did. Bucks, they just can't stop guards, man. Save their life. So he had 30 points. Yeah, we just saw this matchup. I expect something very similar here. Donovan Mitchell dominating the usage here. I think the only difference is Gene Wade has a Q tag today, so not that he really affects much. His point line is usually 2.5. And LeVert is questionable as well, which could affect stuff. Probably see more Ty Jerome and things like that off the bench. But yeah, prop betting wise, nothing to really affect much. Probably see if LeVert's out, probably see some more Coro, Jerome, Yang. I'm just gonna stay away from the Cavs. I mean, I'm sure Donovan Mitchell's lines are creeping up now. But if you want to stab at him, totally get it. Yeah, see, I mean, he opened the season at 24.5 points. He's at 26 now. If Giannis is out, who knows? Like, does the game even go the distance? What's the spread? Are they banking on him being out? 6.5. Yeah, we're just gonna have to wait on the news on Giannis. Feel comfortable about any full game props. I will say Donovan's super aggressive in the first quarter, especially. But I bet he's not 5.5 points anymore. They don't even have it up, so they don't even have his points.
Wade. Ren says Wade is already ruled out.
He's already ruled out? Okay, thank you. So let's see who they start. Maybe they start Coro, because he was a starter last year. Yeah, it sucks. They don't even have first quarter. I mean, if Giannis is out, I would probably just stick the first half if you want anything Cavs. If Giannis is in, I'd probably just stay away from the game even more so. Let's see. What do we want besides that? Bobby Portis, if Giannis is out, he could be an option. How do you guys feel about that? Do we even have his lines? Does Underdog have it?
Who?
Bobby.
Bobby P? Let's look. I got all the free throws laid out. Let's see.
I'm trying to pull up Underdog and nope. I'm
Not
getting
working
the
for
spinning.
you.
No.
Yeah. I don't think we have a Bobby P line. How come Underdog doesn't work for you? That's crazy.
I don't know. It's something like with my area and them trying to locate my location service. It just takes forever to load.
They just dropped some 33% boost for NBA today. That's cool.
Okay. I think Underdog, the best advantage right now is the free throw, so let's keep an eye out for that.
No Bobby lines yet.
That would be the one interest I would have if Giannis is out, because we've seen whenever Giannis is out, he dominates scoring and rebounding. But it's just not the best matchup at all. So, moving on. Warriors at Wizards. Last I saw, Wiggins and Steph are questionable. Steph might make his return. We shall see. If he does, I doubt he plays. I mean, he was already not playing many minutes anyway to begin with. So, doubt he plays much if he does. Wiggins looked decent. He did Wiggins things. First game back over the weekend, 15 points. But yeah, I mean, Kuminga looks better playing off the bench. Buddy Hield still doing his thing, scoring off the bench. Yeah, Buddy Hield still like leading and playing big time minutes, him and Pods. So their minutes are probably the two that are the most somewhat secure, and then Wiggins, if he is actually playing. What I doubt. Do we even have Warriors lines because of that news? Barely. I would see what Kuminga's lines are. If his points are not too high, I'd consider it. Playing against the second unit of the Wizards here. Yeah, they're going to wait on Steph news and Wiggins. So even if Steph and Wiggins play, I mean, Kuminga is still going to come off the bench, right? So he could still get his points. That's about it from that game, or from the Warriors side. Then you got Jordan Poole revenge game here, but it's in Washington, and we still have Kuzma out. Bagley was questionable, but I think now he's listed out with illness, so that secures J-Val and Star minutes at the 5. I would say, yeah, it's Poole. If you want anything, Wizards here. But the Warriors defense, I'm telling you, I mean, these guys are young, hungry, playing good defense. Transition defense, like I said, is good, which Poole likes to score off of. So the points are pretty low. I mean, he was all the way up to 24.5 early in the season, start of the season, so it's back down a little bit. If you want to play the revenge narrative, I get it. I'd feel better about alting his points here, but it's a tough matchup for him. And you saw the Rockets; their backcourt really struggled over the weekend against the Warriors. Especially if Wiggins plays, you have like guys like Wiggins and Kuminga that cover the perimeter, that length and that athleticism. So probably gonna stay away, guys. I don't have any good feelings about this. If you wanted, maybe Poole comes out aggressive in the first half, like he did against the Celtics, and take his first half props. I guess first half fantasy. You should get some steals here. He's been pretty crafty at that. So let's look at the matchup real quick. But Chad, if you got anything on this, let me know. Look at this transition. Like I said, Warriors are number 1, and all of Poole's points pretty much come from transition. 35% of his points, and then 28% of his points come from pick and roll ball handling, which Warriors are number 3, and no surprise, OKC is number 1. They're not giving up many free throws, which Poole relies on. It's just a spot up shooting. Poole's gonna have to get it done. He's gonna have to hit his threes, right? But the Warriors are number 1 right now on 3-point defense.
Warriors defense, huh? That's crazy.
They just got a lot of bodies too, man. You throw out. You have a 12-man rotation.
Yeah.
And you have fresh legs out there a lot. Like your
Yeah.
defense is gonna be better with fresher legs. So
Ren says Wiggins is probable and Steph is questionable still.
okay, so that makes it even tougher for the Wizards backcourt. I'll probably stay away, guys. I know the narrative is juicy, but yeah, Draymond is playing hard now, and he talked about it after the game. He's playing motivated and trying to help these young guys. So, I mean, if you want to take a stab at his fantasy, but it's Draymond, he could just do absolutely nothing, especially scoring wise. So make his fantasy somewhat of a sweat, but maybe he comes out a little more, even more aggressive against Poole. Because I think last time they played the Wizards last year, Draymond sat for sure in one of the games, but I don't know if he sat in both of them. Let me take a look real quick. Okay, so he sat in one of them. Played in the one at the Wizards. So, like we're going to see today. And he had 25 fantasy. And 29 minutes, which is what we should see today. Yeah, I'm good. I don't like anything. I'm not feeling the game environment. I would say just look out for Kuminga's points. It's not too high. If you want to take a stab at something J-Bal, but usually big, slow guys like J-Bal don't do well against the Warriors because of the pace they play, usually, and spread out. They like to spread out the court. It's usually just not good for bigs, especially in rebounding too. So
Can we go under Poole today? Or are you scared?
I'm scared just because he's at home and he can catch fire.
Okay.
Even though the Warriors are playing good defense on the perimeter in a transition, if he just comes out extra motivated, drops like 18 in the first half, like he did against the Celtics, that would be a sweat. I mean, he would need like 5 points in the second half.
Okay.
But on paper, it does say under, right? So, okay. Next game, Lakers at Pistons. Everyone on the Lakers had a Q tag, or injury tag, but I think they're all good. I think they're all probable. Yep, D'Lo, AR-15, and AD, all good to go. Great spot for AD. Again, I think we want his free throws here. What are they 7.5 on Underdog?
Let's see. Who are you asking about?
Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis is 7 flat.
I think it's worth it. 7, 13, 12, 21 attempts last season, or over the last 2 seasons versus him. If you don't want free throws, or if you're not playing an Underdog and only on the books or price, well, I guess depending on the book, but I don't mind the first half props, like first half PRA. The fantasy, I don't know. Duran's not active, so in the paint, so not much block opportunity, but the PRA is pretty low. 22.5, or the first half points, but also the first quarter points. If it's still 8 Flat. Yeah. He's going to play 10 to 11 minutes in the first quarter. He should probably have like 4 free throws in the first quarter. It's just a matter of him making his free throws. I believe it's decent value because on see this matchup, he had 5 free throws just in the first quarter, 11 and 8 points. On DK, they have him. So DK's not doing over-unders anymore for the first quarter. They're just doing different alt lines. But they have AD at minus 140 for 9+. It's not bad. So we're not getting bad value, but it's also minus 240 for 8+. So high chance of pushing. What do we think here? We think this game blows out, guys? Lakers fully healthy. Pistons look like they're back to being Pistons ways. Seven and a half point spread. Looks like AR-15 has a pretty easy matchup here as well. But is he dealing? I think he's dealing with an illness. Is that why he was questionable? That's unfortunate. We don't get Lauri Markkanen in a revenge game back in Chicago. It's doubtful. Yeah. I mean, I think all these guys are live if they're healthy. Like AR-15, Rui, AD, obviously. Cade is kind of come back down to earth, right? As of late. 19 points. I think he dropped, 22 the game before that? 22, yeah. Average matchup for him. I mean, Lakers still, like I said, they're struggling in transition defense, but it looks like Cade's really not scoring in transition much. It's like 11% of his points. Most of his points are coming from pick and roll, which Lakers are bottom 7. It's just, I wish his lines were down a little bit, like 23.5 or 22.5 to feel good about that. Just seems a little high and a potential blowout too. You guys like anything? Duren should have fantasy upside if he can stay out of foul trouble, but I think he gets in foul trouble against AD, so I would not feel good about taking his props. Ivy could have a good matchup. He scores in transition. He likes to play fast, so probably if you want anything Detroit-wise, it would be him. But his lines are just so high now. I don't know. What you guys got?
People are scared. People are scared.
I would just take the Lakers side of things here. First half, maybe. But the nice thing about this slate today is that none of these teams are on the front end of a back-to-back, right? They don't play. No one plays tomorrow. So, Celtics at Hawks. This sucks. Like, Jaylen Brown's out. I always play Jaylen Brown when he goes back to Atlanta, his hometown. He gets up for those games. But he's out. So we're going to see Tatum, black hole, and we're going to get Derek White doing his thing. But, man, all their numbers are so inflated. I mean, it's a great matchup for all of them. especially for guys like Derek White, guards against Atlanta. But I mean, yeah, like Tatum, 37% usage last game with JB out, and then Derek White was second behind him at 27.5 usage rate. Tatum's minutes, they pulled back on it. I know, yeah, they on the game on Friday, so it's kind of interesting. It wasn't even that much of a blowout. Like, he didn't check in until real late in the fourth. That's where he lost out on his minutes. But Derek White played the entire fourth. I would say something Derek White here. It's just the minute the lines are so high. Like, anytime I play White, I play his fantasy because he just does it all. Or his PRA. But how high are the lines? 34.5. That is high. But I mean, the Hawks are just bleeding fantasy points in the backcourt. I mean, what did Fox and DeRozan both score over 50 fantasy each in that last game? The only thing you got to worry about is blowout. If the Celtics just catch fire from three, and the Hawks' 3-point defense is awful, you know that, right? We looked into that. So if the Celtics are draining the threes and the Hawks aren't, you can see a very lopsided affair here. Yeah, the Hawks are still second to last in 3-point defense to the backcourt. I mean, if you're worried about the blowout, something like that, I would take the first half. But the only thing is, like, Tatum can black hole in the first half. So if you take someone like White, first half, it could be sketchy. See how White did against the Hawks last season, even with JB playing. 37, 42, 42 fantasy in all 3 games he played. So he cleared the fantasy in all 3 games. Let's see who was in and out for that game. Horford. Drew was out for one of them. And then Drew and Porzingis. But it looks like, besides Drew being out, it was like Porzingis, JB, Tatum playing, and Derek White still got there. Yeah, I would say his first half or full game fantasy. Tatum's just too high, man. What is he, like 51 fantasy? I mean, he could definitely do it, obviously. But you definitely need the game to go full distance. It just showed that they were cutting back on his minutes in a soft matchup against the Hornets. 51's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I would say first half for full fantasy. I mean, they're just bleeding points to the backcourt. Top 4 fantasy. Giving up steals, giving up threes, obviously. How has Derek White's steals been stocks this season? Okay, he's getting at least 1, if not 2 to 3, mainly 2. So his assists are way down. Looks like he's just scoring. What's his first half points? Oh, that's some BS. Look at that tax. So his first half points are 10.5, but his full game 17.5. Does that make any sense? His full is 17.5, right? No, 20.5. Wait.
Mm.
What was I looking at?
Oops.
No, 19.5. Okay. Why? So we're having to pay a whole 1 point tax for no reason? There's like no juice on the over 19.5, even money line. So I mean, I would just play his points in the books then at that point. And we're getting taxed on the first half points. Are we getting taxed on the first half fantasy too? Yes, big time. You add that up, that's 36, and its full is 34.5. That sucks. That sucks. It's a great spot for these Celtics guys, but I mean he's cleared at 18. But in 4 of his 7 games. You're gonna definitely need him to get a stock in the first half for that 18. What do you guys think? You guys want anything Celtics here? I might stick to my guns and just stay away from Celtics games because of the volatility with them in the 3-ball.
Stick to them guns.
Yes, sir. And then Atlanta side, same concept, man. Like, if you want unders, it could be scary if the Celtics aren't hitting their threes and the game goes the full distance. It's not like the Celtics defense is anything to fear right now. I mean, you saw LaMelo, but LaMelo dropped 36 and 31 in the back-to-back baseball series they played. Trey Mann dropped 23 and 10. So it's not like they're shutting down the primary ball handler or scorer. So, yeah, if you want to consider under on Trey, hoping it blows out. Again, Celtics, they rely on the 3-ball. So, I mean, both those games against the Hornets, too, were close, somewhat close. Less than 20 points spread in both of them. Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, the Hawks, I mean, everyone's pretty much out still. Bogdan's still out. Hunter's out. Pitt's out. Only thing different is Dyson's back. So Jalen keeps popping off. Right? He was my most improved player pick.
He's the man.
He dropped 29 points over the weekend. Yesterday. And the game before that, on Friday, he dropped only 14. How's Trae Young do against Drew? Let's just take a look in case people that were interested in Trae Young. Dropped 33 on him. Jalen Johnson was out that game, and Matthews. Then next game we dropped 20. They lost by 8. DeJounte Murray was out, so it's kind of like this game today. How has Clint's minutes been?
Big clit.
Okongwu was out on Sunday? Oh, they've been sitting him on the front end of a back-to-back, right? So I imagine he's back today. He only played 20 minutes. but it looks like he might have closed, and so he lost out on minutes because of blowout. He lost out on 2.5 minutes, so he would have played his normal 23 minutes. They don't really need him in this matchup with the Celtics having no Porzingis and how they run small ball, so feels better suited for Kongwu and Nance. But let's see how low the lines are. Oh my gosh, they're so low. His fantasy was just 28.5 the other day.
Damn.
And it's 23.5 today, so too low, guys, too low. I remember we took an under on him versus the Celtics last season, and that was so sweaty. He did pretty well. Yeah. I mean, what's killing his PRA right now is Nance and but mainly Jalen Johnson getting so many rebounds. I mean, that's why I look at his rebounds all the way down to 7.5. Guy used to live around 8.5 to 9.5. So, yeah, I'm good. I mean, the lines are so low. I mean, Jalen, with him, it's just like, is his 3-ball falling? Does he get like 1 or 2 threes, and then is he getting to the free throw line? And he scores in transition a lot too, from fast breaks and steals. So his lines are coming back down though. I mean, his line was already up to what, 20.5 and then 19.5, which I thought was crazy. And I said that day on Friday against the Kings. His line was 20.5, and I was like, it's way too high. And he finished at 14. But yeah, his usage is going to be really high. So Kongwu at 9.5 points is interesting. I mean, he has an easy matchup against the second unit of Celtics front court here. If you want a low line sweat. But I just want to check his last game. I think he played less minutes because he's losing out on some of those minutes that Nance is starting. So he had a good game against him in February. 19 point. He played 36 minutes, so I remember that. I think Clint was out that game. Yeah. So sometimes his usage rate is so low, man. Like, just doesn't get it enough shot volume. Yeah, he only played 19 minutes. Clint played the entire 4. That's crazy. Maybe it's just because of matchup, because of Sabonis. So the front court is volatile, man. The rotations and minutes. So I probably wouldn't even consider a Kongo, to be honest. Payne Pritchard's all up to 15.5 points. That's insane. I mean, it's an amazing spot for him because of the 3-point shooting and how much the Hawks give it up. But I would just take his 3-point prop if you're interested in him. But it's 3.5 now. I would have only considered if it was 2.5. If you want to alt it to 2.5. 3.5. I mean, yeah, he's getting it done, but that's insane. I mean, like, he had 7 points in 20 minutes against the Hornets. He went 0 of 5 from 3. I mean, that's just how it is with 3-point shooters. It's super volatile. But great matchup. Hawks second to last 3-point defense. Yeah, probably good on the Hawks here, man. I'm gonna stick to my guns on the Celtics games. I just think they're too volatile of a team. They can absolutely mop a team off the court, or they can keep bad teams around if they're breaking threes. Memphis at Nets. We got here. Sorry, I didn't have time to do our game sheets with how big of a slate this was. 4.5 point spread. We just saw this matchup, right? 223 total. Everyone remains out for Memphis, including Bane and Marcus Smart. I believe Jaren Jackson went off in this matchup, if I'm remembering correctly. And so did Schroeder. Let's take a look. This was on Halloween. Memphis blew them out. Oh, no, sorry, that was the Bucks. Nope, it was on day before Halloween. Bane played, though. Jaren went off for 30 points. Hit like 41 fantasy. And Ja only had 14 points, but, Bane playing probably affected that somewhat. Schroeder had 33 points. Ben Simmons played, but Ben Simmons is out today. So it's even more of a boost to Schroeder. How the lines look. 16.5 points for Schroeder. Jaren's only to 19.5 points. Woo. Tie. But the Nets are dead last in post-up defense. That's where a lot of Triple J's points are coming from. I think Triple J's minutes are back up too, aren't they? See, his last game was on Saturday, and he played almost 31 minutes. Yeah, season high. What is he averaging fantasy point? Whenever I play Triple J, I just play his fantasy because of the block potential and stock potential. What's he averaging on the season so far? Fantasy point per minute wise. So we want his fantasy. See how many minutes he'll have to play. 1.21 fantasy points per minute. So if he plays, let's give him 30 minutes. That puts him at 36.3. Fantasy, what's his fantasy line? $36 on the dot. So yeah, that's spot on. So all of his lines are right. And what PrizePicks is bumping him to 20.5, but he's 19.5 on FanDuel. I guess there's juice coming in on the over. So I wouldn't play that on PrizePicks. If you're on PrizePicks, that's a tax that, like, why pay the tax, and why is this site not work? Okay, I guess it's 20.5 in some books, but I mean, like on DK and FanDuel, it's like minus 125 for 19.5 points. Like, it's not even a crazy juice to make it go up a full point. Like, I could see him maybe like putting it to 20 flat, but not a full point, 20.5. So if you want to play Triple J, it would be the fantasy. I think, but I mean, you saw the projections are spot on. Maybe he picks up a couple more minutes here, like 32 minutes, and that'll get him over comfortably. And then, Josh should keep dominating usage as well with Bane out. But his lines have caught up. He had a really good game against the Bucks, no surprise. He can't stop scoring guards, and he's killing the playmaking still, right? I mean, yeah. Let's take a look at his potentials. Okay, so I mean, some games he's having spike potentials. 25 potential against the Bucks, 18 potential against Philly. Those are, I believe, those are the two games was out. And you see, with Bane playing, his potentials were around 16 to 12 to 16. So he's taking somewhat of a bump when the potentials of Bane out. No surprise. How about his rebounds? Can we consider the RA? He had 13 rebound chances against Nets, same matchup. 8 rebounds converted on that, 13. So it's consistent. I mean, it's 10 to 13. What's the RA? Is it crazy high? Is it 14 and a half? All right, yeah, 14 and a half. That's right. That's appropriate. I would consider the RA.
Ren says he loves Triple J, and Ja does what Ja wants to do. And the Grizzlies teammates part C's.
Yep, it's Sean. Yeah, I would say the RA at 14 and a half, or if you want to just incorporate it all, just do the PRA. Fantasy's 42. Since we have this pulled up already, 1.42, and he's playing how many minutes? He's about 30 as well, just like Triple J. So 30 is 1.42. That puts him at 42.6 fantasy. So his fantasy is also spot on. How's the matchup fantasy wise? Point guards versus the Nets. They're about average. They are average. Power forwards, average. Yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, something. I wouldn't play this. I wouldn't do John Triple J. I mean, you could in the same stuff like Jaws, like RA, and Triple J's like fantasy, but they really eat into each other because of the two guys splitting the usage up. So, I would just keep them in separate slips if you can. If you're playing multiple slips. What's Triple J's fantasy on Underdog?
Let's take a look. They don't have it.
Okay. I would say, do they have his free throws? Is it 4.5?
They don't have his free throws either.
That sucks. Look out for it. Maybe they drop it later for a lock. He had like 10 free throws in this game, and the Nets are giving up the second most free throws, so they're fouling. But Ben Simmons is out, right? So maybe a little bit less free throws because Ben's been averaging almost 5 fouls a game. So I'm sure Ben fouled him in that game. And the Nets side, man, and Schroeder. His fantasy's all the way up to 33.5. I looked at it. Still only averaging 1 fantasy point per minute. So you would need the game to go the distance, obviously. And for him to play his usual 35 minutes. Feel good about that. But, I mean, he had one of his best games he's had in a long time recently against Memphis. I doubt Memphis lets him repeat that. So if you wanted anything Schroeder, with the amount of assists that he's been racking up, and especially with Simmons out, should boost his playmaking even more. Because some of these games Simmons played in, the Bulls and Pistons, this went down. I would just do the fantasy because you probably don't want to rely just on the scoring, and he can get steals here and there. So Yeah, so he's had 3 steals back-to-back games. I would just do the fantasy if you want some shorter, but I never take his over. But he had a great game against them. See if he repeats it. And then Cam Thomas is gonna do his thing, but his lines are too high in my opinion. So I think he needs to come back down to 22.5 points. He's still sitting at 24.5, but 24 flat on PrizePicks. Had a good game against the Bulls, so that makes sense. Yeah. I'm only gonna probably play Cam Thomas going forward if like someone like Shorter's out. Yeah. Okay. You guys got anything else for that game? Let me know. Shout it out. But let's move to the Kings at Heat. Oh. 1 point spread. I think this is lowest spread on the slate. It is. Hami Yakwa's sick. I think he might be out. I think that's the only big news in that game.
Yeah.
Oh no, Herter. So this is big. So if Herter's out, unless there's any news, let me know on Herter. If he's out, that's gonna change things. Okay, Yaquez was just rolled out. If Herter's out,
You see how it says he left shoot around early?
who?
Herder. Still
Yeah,
questionable.
He
but
might be out.
sounds scary.
If he's out, that changes the offense a lot. So like he runs the pick and roll with Sabonis a lot, and it kind of hurts like the playmaking of Fox and others. So if he's out, like it's gonna help Fox more so with the playmaking. It's gonna open up minutes for Monk as well. If you're into Monk,
Monk.
their minutes are highly intertwined. And Herter was out last game, looks like too. So yeah, look at Monk played 38 minutes with Herter out. So makes sense. So yeah, I mean, if Herter's out again, I expect the same thing. Big minutes from Monk. Well, Fox only had 4 potential. So who picked up all? It was all Sabonis, huh? I took his RA in this game at 19.5 and crushed it. Yeah, 17 potentials, 10 assists. Normal Sabonis things did. Normal 4 assists for Rosen. Was it Monk picking up potentials too? No, Monk had his usual 7 potentials. Okay. Surprised by Fox though. Yeah, Monk, I mean, what's his line? 14.5? I would just wait on the news for Herter. You can consider his points. Although Miami's not, usually we attack 3-ball against Miami, but they're not really giving up the 3 as much so far at the start of the season. Sabonis' points are all the way down to 16.5. That sucks.
That does suck.
He had 19 against Bam last season and 14 in 40 minutes. Bam is like a perfect defensive matchup too, because like Bam is athletic and fast enough. Like you could just definitely shut down Sabonis, but 16.5, that's way too low, man. I can't do it. For a guy that was just up to 20.5 point line the other day. I normally don't attack Miami because they play so slow. They can clamp down on defense when they want. I don't know. I'm not really feeling anything kinks here except if Herder's out. If Monk's lines are low enough because they just haven't adjusted him. Like, we know he's going to play big minutes, right? So, and on the Heat side, I have not, with them being fully healthy, I've not been playing him at all or touching him. So, I'm good on that.
Smart.
What do you guys say? You guys have anything on?
Face the Wolves here. So what's up? What's up? Let's get this money.
You guys got anything on this game in South Beach?
People are still asleep, like Harden from the weekend.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's a good matchup for guys like Hero and Rozier, but I'm good. They just split the usage so much between two of them. All right, Jazz at Bulls. We got questionable tags in this game, so can't really do much. Zach LaVine's questionable. Giddey was ruled probable now, but I think LaVine, correct me if I'm wrong, is still questionable. So, no idea. Can't make any predictions on that. He's like pretty much their whole offense right now. Big Vooch against Kessler. This is not the best matchup for Kessler, like rebound stock-wise, because Kessler wants to stay down in the low block, but Vooch, we know on offense, will run the high pick and roll and then take threes as well. So Kessler's going to have to be brought out from the paint here. It's probably going to reduce his rebound rate. But Markkanen was just ruled out or doubtful now. Yeah, I mean, Utah is a mess right now, guys. I mean, it's so bad. George is not it, and they want him to be it. And Sexton's playing limited minutes. Like, one of Sexton or Clarkson are getting traded at the trade deadline for sure. Yeah, Sexton's still playing just 25 minutes a game. But it's a great matchup for him, for George. It would have been a great matchup for Markkanen, especially revenge narrative being back in Chicago, but it sounds like he's out. And don't want to play the rookie. Rookie's here, so I'm out. I'm out on the Jazz. Bulls 8-point favorites, even with LaVine being questionable. I mean, if LaVine is out, what do we want here? I don't want to click on Giddey. Do you?
Hell no. Giddey?
I mean, him and Kobe are gonna lead the usage here, but like Kobe White, man, what is he doing? Just normal Kobe White stuff, huh? I just don't track the Bulls at all. I mean, you take a shot on Vooch, but he's going to need his outside shots because Big Kessler, he ain't scoring on him. But he's going to have a massive usage bump if LaVine's out. Do we even have Bulls props? I doubt it. We do. That's kind of weird. $19.5 points for a guy that's normally 16.5, 17.5. I mean, I would just, if you want Vooch, just take a shot at that 3-point prop, bro. Like, I mean, he's not going to want to go down and fuck with Kessler down low. He's just going to shoot threes here, and Utah will give up a 3-ball. So, yeah. Big news to wait on LaVine. I would say if LaVine is in, definitely consider his points in this matchup. We can quickly look at the matchup. Yeah. The Jazz dead last in transition defense, right ahead of the Lakers. So, and that's how LaVine's getting most of his points. It looks like 29% of his points coming in transition because the Bulls are playing the fastest pace still. Kobe White, most of his coming from spot up shooting, no surprise, 3-point shooter. And slow as Vooch is getting most of his from post up and pick and roll. No surprise. So, yeah. It looks like Levine still has the best matchup, highest usage, so it would be him if you want anything, but we don't know if he's playing. So there you go. And Utah, oh, they are a gross team right now. Knicks at Rockets. So back to what I was saying earlier. Looks like Easton's minutes limits are released, right? He played. It was overtime. Went to overtime, but still, it's good seeing that he played this many minutes. He played 35 minutes. That's a lot for him. So look at Sengun. This always happens, man. I talk about this when he's playing bad, or he's not. It's not the right matchup. He sits out the entire fourth, and they go small with guys like Cam Whitmore or Eamon, or in this case it was Eason. And then Jabari will just end up playing the 5. So I mean, you can't touch Sengun anymore. I mean, his minutes are just not secured with those guys coming off the bench. Because I mean, you have Jock picks up some minutes in the first half, and then they got Eason, and then they can definitely go to Jabari playing the 5. So it's really just performance based for him. How do we feel about his matchup here? Can we take some unders, or is Soft Cat gonna give it up to him? We like the PRA under.
I like it when you say under. Let's look.
Looks like some juice on his over points, so maybe they bump up the points by the time games start. Looks like Nick's been holding it down though against guys like him. Average against pick and roll. Not giving up free throws. That's good. Not giving up putbacks. It's not the best matchup for him. He had 33 PRA in 40 minutes last year against them, but it's a totally different Knicks team now. 27 PRA in 36 minutes. I mean, he played entire 40 minutes just to get over that 31 and a half.
Think he might be onto something.
You're just hoping he's continues to play bad early on and then just lose out on the second half minutes, especially in the fourth quarter. So I would definitely not consider his overs going forward. Yeah, he's gonna have spike games here and there, but yeah, his minutes are not secured by any means. Eason, I'm interested. 9.5 points is pretty low.
You're always interested in him.
I like him. He plays with a motor. He's so good at offensive rebounds. I usually, when I play him, I play his PR, but it looks like we don't have that posted, so look out for that. I would play his PR. Because right now is a time to jump on his stock while it's still low, and they haven't fully adjusted. While potentially his minutes are not capped anymore. 9.5 points is pretty low, but sometimes, I mean, his usage can be so low that he just doesn't get there because of shot volume. But his last 2 games, he's been efficient. He can hit the 3 ball. He gets putbacks. But what we saw, yeah, I mean, he shot 3 of 5 from 3 against the Warriors. That's not sustainable for him. But the only downside is the Knicks are top 5 in putback. They're not allowing putbacks, offensive rebound putbacks, so not the best matchup for him in terms of that. I mean, he gets a lot of his points from that. You can see here. Most of his points are in transition, which the Knicks are top 10 in as well. So it's not ideal for him. Playing his lines is just you're trying to catch stock when it's low before they adjust his lines to how many minutes he's going to end up actually playing. So let's see if we get the PR. We're not even getting him on PrizePicks yet, so you'd have to play him in the books if you wanted him. But if we get the PR without tax, like what's his rebound at? Oh my gosh, 5.5 now. Yeah, if you get the PR at 15.5, you consider it, man. You consider it. But all right. Next game. Oh wait, Knicks. I've not been playing the Knicks with them being fully healthy. And the Rockets, they've been pretty average on everything defensively, so it's not like anything to exploit here. Yeah. But let me know if you guys like anything. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty average. Rockets. See how they match up against Cat. They don't even have the data for Cat in this matchup, so. Now this one should be interesting. Hornets at Timberwolves. Nick Richards is out. Brandon Miller remains questionable. But Charlotte has no front court. Are they gonna? I mean, there's no way they start Grant Williams at the 5 against Gobert, but Gobert's questionable. I don't know what happened to him. It's like a tweaked ankle, but it sounds like he's just being soft, Gobert. But man, how he would eat on the glass, absolutely eat if he played, because yeah, Hornets have no front court, and then if Grant Williams starts at the 5. His lines are high though, right? I mean, what's the rebound? 12.5. I mean, that's Gobert can get up to that range, but he's usually 11.5. So they're juicing it for the matchup. Got to wait on the news for Gobert, but I think you consider the PR, the rebound here in this matchup if he plays. Now, who I like is Naz Reid, because if you want to take it the risk now and hope Gobert is out, he would start. His PR is 17.5. The books don't even have his lines, so I'm surprised PrizePicks has it up. It looks like just this one book. Look, it looks like PrizePicks is the only one that has it. I looked for it. I'm not unless underrated. You can find them. I don't see them anywhere. Yeah, no PR in any of the other books.
Bunk J-Bow?
Naz Reid.
Oh, Nas.
It's probably because other books are being smart and waiting for the Gobert news. Because if Gobert's out, he's going to start the center versus Charlotte, guys, and that's. I mean, we saw stretch bigs against the Hornets on Friday on the Celtics.
DK has him.
DK has him?
Not PR though. Yeah, PR is only PrizePicks.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
But Luke Cornett dropped 19 points on him. Like, come on. Luke Cornett. If you want, if you're worried about the full game, if Gobert ends up playing and Nas just not getting enough minutes for the full game, the first half, this is his normal line with Gobert playing and him coming off the bench at 5.5. Yeah, the PRA would have been better because we want the rebound upside, especially if Gobert's out. We want the rebound upside this matchup. 5.5 points if he starts too against the Hornets. It seems pretty good, guys. I don't know. Even if he doesn't start and Gobert plays, he can still get that, right? Like, what did he just have in the first half last game? I think he had like double-digit points, but we'll double check. And he gets to go. I mean, even if Gobert plays, he comes off the bench in the first half and goes against the second unit of the Hornets. He had 10 points against the Spurs in the first half. So he's gone over this 4 out of his 6 games in the first half. He just shot like shit in the first opening day against the Lakers. He gets 15 minutes against this Hornets second unit. Feel pretty good about that. So I would say I might just split it and just do his first half in one slip and full game in the other. And that way, if Gobert plays, I still have that safety insurance of the first half 5.5 points, which is his normal line. Now, if Gobert's ruled out, I'm sure that line goes up to 9.5 or 10 flat points. I guarantee it. So I like that a lot. Just given the matchup. Does Underdog even have Nas?
Underdog does not have Nas.
Yeah. Ant. Free throws?
Big Ant. Look at his free throws. Where the heck is he? Do they not have Ant? Oh, here he is. Down, all the way down. He's at 5 flat.
I like it. Yeah, he's going to take a lot of threes, but the Hornets foul like crazy. I mean, we saw what Tatum and JV did, right? They both had double-digit free throws. So it's not bad. It's just like potential blowout and losing out on minutes and him just chucking threes, but great spot for Julius too, especially if Gobert's out. He should soak up more rebounds here in this matchup. Let's just look at what his rebound potentials have been. I mean, he had 19 chances, only 6 converted. Come on, Julius. That just screams to me lack of motivation on the glass. So I don't know. They all have him all the way up to 8.5 given the matchup and potential of Gobert sitting. So I don't know. And his RA is up there too now. It's been around 12.5 or 13.5, but PrizePicks has, I believe, all the way up to 14.5. So there's no value there if you're on PrizePicks. I would not do that. You saw he's like almost even money line. Oh, they brought him back down to 13.5. He was 14.5. But still, I don't know if I can do that. Maybe consider it with Gobert out, or if you want to just take the fantasy, but he's not doing much on defensively, so he's getting mainly from points and playmaking. I just think his lines are appropriate in this matchup at 8.5 rebound. He could definitely get it done scoring though, for sure. But he has a black hole in his team named Ant, so. But yeah. Wait on the Gobert news. Nas, great spot. They really have Nas at 14.5 points, but his PR at 17.5. How does that make sense? There's no way. His rebound line is 7.5.
Is it?
Does that make sense?
No, I didn't realize his rebounds are so high.
Did news just come out? Because his points are 14.5. Is Gobert just ruled out? Because his full game is 14.5, right? But his first half points. His first half points are 5.5, but his full game is 14.5 points, and his PR is 17.5.
Hold on, wait a minute.
What book is this?
Maybe that's a mistake. Let's see. Yeah,
the problem is that none of the books have him.
Yeah, I don't even see. Let me look around for
I don't think they know what to do. They don't know what to do.
Yeah, they're keeping him off. 'Cause Rudy, huh? Smart.
Yeah. Well,
if Rudy's ruled out, what are you smacking? I mean, it's only
Nas.
on
Nas, I
Prize.
mean, I might just roll dice now and just hope that he's out and you get these like crazy lines. Even if he doesn't, even if Gobert does play, I mean, Nas still has a good chance of getting that first half 5.5 points still. So, like I said,
That's pretty wild that they have him on PrizePicks, but nowhere else.
right?
Yeah.
Give me one. All right, sorry. I actually have to run. I forgot I had a 2:30 cutoff here, but yeah, I think that there's some value on Nas if you want it there. Other games, I didn't really have much except for, yeah, you got the Maxi birthday narrative, and then there was one other thing.
We want unders. We want unders.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw the Raptors Nuggets matchup, so I didn't have anything for that. Another narrative, if you're into that kind of thing, Miles Turner is playing in his nearest hometown in Dallas, and yeah, I mean, maybe consider some unders on guys like Halliburton here if Nimbard is not remaining questionable.
Oh, you said Sengun was the only one you were thinking about, huh?
Yeah. Look at it more. I can hop on voice chat in a minute. I just have to head out and drive. So, but we'll be back on Wednesday. It's day off tomorrow. Enjoy the day off and election day, and yeah, let's see what we can cook up in the Discord for lock today.
Okay, man. Sounds good. Happy birthday.
Thanks. Yeah, I got that's why I have to go. I have to go meet up with people. So
All right.
I'll catch you guys later, man.
All right, guys. Later.